Stomach. Eh? Eh? Why not discuss you later? Thank you very much. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Distinguished delegates, leaders and representatives of political parties, invited guests, office holders, spanning the structure of the UDP, party militants, and members of the public gathered here today, I greet you all in my personal and official capacity as Secretary General and leader of the United Democratic Party. I extend a warm welcome to you to our National Congress. I am deeply honored to have you witness this important event, which we are not only required by statute to hold, but is also a reaffirmation of our party's long and cherished tradition of internal democracy, rededication to our core principles of commitment to the rule of law as a foundation for building a Gambia that is free, democratic, and forward-looking. I want to begin by thanking the members of the organizing committee and our host community, Kanifing Municipal Council, Kanifing Municipality, and its dynamic and capable leader, Mayor Talib Ahmed Bensouda. They have exerted tremendous efforts to welcome and make our delegates from all corners of the country feel at home. I also want to thank all our party members and supporters in the Gambia and the diaspora. They have devoted their time and committed their resources to the party to help organize world, constituency, and regional congresses. In the best tradition of the party, where issues were discussed and positions contested in an open, free, and fair process. That result is a process that affirmed the express will of our membership and support base as provided for by our party constitution. Our party, which is anchored on the foundations of democracy, has consistently held on to the promise of and practiced the principles contained in that hollow tradition. Seeing the enthusiasm and vigor of grassroots supporters, both here and abroad, as we go through these internal democratic processes, gives me tremendous hope in both the present and the future of our party. It affirms my strongly held belief that UDP is more than a political party. It is an idea. It is an idea etched into the hearts and minds of its membership and supporters. This Congress will continue the tradition in evaluating the activities of the outgoing leadership and charting the way forward for the Gambia and our party. I want to take a moment to thank all the members of the leadership team that was entrusted by the last Congress to manage the affairs of the party. They have all worked hard to serve our party and the Gambian people to the best of their abilities. I have benefited from their wise counsel and thank them from the bottom of my heart. I respectfully ask for your indulgence and request delegates and invited guests to take a moment to remember and pray for my brother, confidant, and colleague, Alhaji Lamin Mundiba, who we lost a few weeks ago. I started the journey with him from day one, and for over 2 decades, he fought courageously and consistently to end tyranny and restore democracy he so firmly believed his beloved Gambia deserves. He was honest, sincere, and loyal to the values and principles of the party. He lived to see part of his dream, a free Gambia, realized, but At the time of his passing, he had saddled up for the next phase of the struggle to consolidate the democracy and rule of law in the Gambia. That is now a task you and I are duty-bound to complete on his behalf and on behalf of his colleagues who have also passed and who has also served and passed on. Our request is to make sure that the will of late heroes like Femi Peters, Lammarong, Solo Sanding, Sajo Kundan Sane, Kunda Kamara, and others is realized. And that is a cause we must pursue with a focus and consistency worthy of the sacrifices and patriotism of Lamin Dambundeba, my friend and colleague, and the others who are not with us. I am, with confidence, looking forward to a fruitful and robust engagement with colleagues and members as we collectively chart a way forward and prepare for what will be a defining election. Our country is at a crossroads. After a promising start that was delivered by the courage, sacrifice, and determined presence of the Gambian people. Men and women of conscience pulled together and put aside superficial political differences and confronted an entrenched tyranny with nothing more than a firm belief in the righteousness of their cause and the vote that represents their voice and the sovereign power that resides in that vote. They queued in long lines, not giving in to either fear or inducement, and showed a 22-year dictator where real power resides and the best way to exercise it. With faith and determination, they defeated a tyrant and restored the democracy to which the people are the principal custodians. This newfound democracy was neither given by the defeated tyrant nor his successor. It was earned by those several Gambian citizens who dedicated themselves to the duty of fighting for their own freedom. You, the Gambian people, gave yourself the democracy you enjoyed. It was not gifted to you by anyone. That was precisely the reason the world stood by us to ensure that the express will of the Gambians who voted for change was upheld. We have now seen how, over the last 4 years, attempts at resurrecting and reconstituting the terrible and discredited ways of the deposed regime are creeping up. Abuse of authority, corruption, wasting of scarce resources, and sabotage of vital reform agenda, all designed to take us back to the old days of running our affairs, are what we are witnessing. A vivid example of maladministration is how the government, under the leadership of President Adama Barrow, continues to mishandle the raging global pandemic of COVID-19. Their response has been messy, inadequate, wasteful, and completely ineffective. Millions of dollars have been squandered on inflated hotel bills, bureaucratic guys, opaque purchasing transactions, and token food support that have left our substantial members of the needy Gambian across all regions. Neither our decrepit health facilities nor our brave and hardworking frontline personnel have been given the priority and resource allocation they require to serve and protect our people. In the rest of the world, governments are focusing on the health